Good evening and thanks so much for joining us tonight on the News at 11. I'm Madeline Bierster. Don Baker has the night off. We begin tonight with the latest details surrounding the Sapelo Island gangway collapse. 7 people died and there's still no specific answer on how or why this happened. You'll remember back on Saturday, October 11th, the Marsh Dock landing collapsed. Around 20 people fell in the water. 7 of those people lost their lives that day. Numerous people were injured, and we're aware of 2 victims that are still in the hospital. The DNR and the GBI have opened an investigation into how that gangway collapsed. The docks and gangways at Marsh Landing on Sapelo Island were constructed back in 2021. The Office of the Attorney General has also started their own independent investigation. Our Lindsay Stanger was at tonight's vigil for those victims and spoke with survivors who recall the very moments before that gangway failed.
Certainly an emotional last few weeks for those of Sapelo and surrounding communities as they begin to process what happened that tragic day. Rose petals sprinkled across the dock and into the water, signaling a final send-off for those who lost their lives on October 19th.
Some nights I'll go to sleep, wake up and just hear screaming.
Survivors like 83-year-old Audrey Grosvenor returned to the ferry tonight despite her own trauma to stand in support with other survivors and remember those who passed.
I just wanted to be a part of it because everyone is my family.
Grosvenor was one of the few people who made it onto the ferry before the gangway gave way, but was forced to watch her daughter, granddaughter, and niece fall to the waters below without any way to help them.
On the boat, and they were telling us to throw out life jackets. We did all of that, but the person that were in the water did not receive a life jacket because the tide was very swift.
While some beg to forget, others, like Marlo Jackson, are left replaying the scene over and over again in their minds.
The part that still plays in my mind is, did it happen? Like, did this really just happen?
Jackson says that standing in support with fellow survivors brings healing in a time that she says she's still struggling to process.
But it's more than just the people that fell in the water. I'm gonna say myself, I'm traumatized.
She says that even returning to the dock tonight, although not the dock that collapsed, brings a wave of fear she hasn't experienced.
Anytime I close my eyes, anytime I think about it, you just see people just like dropping in the water, just bodies everywhere.
Candles were lit as a sign of remembrance for those who lost their lives. Testimonies shared and religious leaders spoke in the victims' memories. Now, the incident that did happen on Sapelo Island is still under investigation, but as for those here on Sapelo, they're looking for a way to move forward. In McIntosh County, Lindsay Stanger, WTOC News.
Lindsay, thank you. Today, our crews also spoke to the son of a survivor who's still recovering tonight. 80-year-old Bertha McKnight was known in the community as the I Love You Lady. She's still unable to walk and recovering from that horrific day. McKnight worked at the Needwood Middle School in Glenn County, and she's a member of the McIntosh County Gullah Geechee Ring Shouters, one of the reasons she was on the island that day.
She jumps up in the middle of the night, screaming, "Don't let me go, don't let me go." I mean, it brings tears.
She's still in the hospital recovering and no longer able to work. Her community has organized a GoFundMe raising money to help with these expenses. If you'd like to help out in that recovery, you can find the link to do so on our website under this story.